Hi there, Diane from Pixiebell here. So I've had a question about the Juliet Slouchy Beanie pattern that I make and how to make the half double crochet cluster stitch that I describe in the pattern. This particular stitch I haven't seen used anywhere else, so I don't have a proper name for it. If you've seen it anywhere else, please do let me know. Basically what you're doing in this stitch, and this is the stitch, this is a completed stitch right here, this row, this beginning of this round right here. Basically what you're doing in this stitch is making a half double crochet and then making a front post half double crochet around the post that you've just made. So I have the beginning of the hat here, and this is the first 6 rounds, and it's roughly 6 inches across, and then I've started the 7th round, and in that round you'll do the half double crochet cluster in the next stitch, and then you'll skip a stitch, and then you'll do the next stitch. So let me show you how to do one. You'll notice that when I crochet I use both hands. Most people don't. They do a lot of twisting action with their wrist. That doesn't work for me because I crochet and knit a lot, so to help with the wear and tear I tend to use both hands instead of doing the twisting action. So I've got a few of the half double crochet clusters made so far, and this is the last one I've made. So I skip the next stitch, and then I'm going to make the next one here. I'm going to yarn over and go into the top 2 loops of that stitch, just like you'd make a normal half double crochet. Pull up that loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops. That's just a half double crochet. What you're going to do next is you're going to yarn over, and then you're going to go into the hole that you've just made right here on the right. So you're going to tilt and go into the hole and behind the post, and you're going to grab your yarn and pull it through, and you have 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and go through all 3, and there you go. That's that stitch. Okay, so let's make another one. Let's try to get a little closer here. You're going to skip this next stitch. You're going to go into that stitch. So you're going to yarn over. You're going to go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. That's the first part of the stitch. The second part of the stitch is to yarn over, tilt and go behind the post, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through all 3 stitches, and that's the completed stitch. Now for round 8, when you get there, it will say half double crochet into the top hole of the cluster post in the next stitch. Well, what I mean for that is at the top of these there's a hole right there, so you're going to make that stitch into that hole. And the next part of that line will say 1 half double crochet under 3 top loops at the top of the half double crochet cluster hole in the next stitch. So what I mean is, for the next stitch, this section right here, you have 2 loops on the top and then a loop on the bottom. Now normally I would have you go into the stitch between the 2 and the 1 and make your stitch in there. But for this part of the stitch, you want to make it over the whole thing so that it makes this hole completely empty. Otherwise you're going to have this weird piece of string hanging down right there. So that's what I mean in round 8, is to go over all 3 of those to make this a clean hole right there. So I hope that helps. Thanks.